Hey everyone, my name is Sir Prouse, and we are here today for a new series on Dear Esther, the Landmark Edition. So I know virtually nothing about this. I saw that recently been released on Xbox One, and I saw that it was $10. So I thought, you know what, screw it. So I bought it and I downloaded it. And shortly before recording this, I just kind of checked to see what kind of game it was, because I wasn't sure if it was one of those kind of like horror type games where you've got to kind of walk around and explore, like an Outlast type game where you're kind of that helpless person where you just kind of gotta run from everything. But it seems like it's more of an interactive story, or like a progressive story type game where you kind of progress through the world, and as you go along, you kind of uncover this story. So that's pretty much all I know, and even that could be not so true. Because I didn't want to spoil anything too much myself, so I was kind of only half listening at the start of a review, and then I quit, or closed it or whatever. So, all right, let's get into it then. Okay, start. Director's commentary. I don't know if we want director's commentary. Interesting. Okay, let's go without the director's commentary first. Right.
Dear Esther, I sometimes feel as if I've given birth to this island. Somewhere between the longitude and latitude, a split opened up, and it beached remotely here. No matter how hard I correlate, it remains a singularity, an alpha point in my life that refuses all hypothesis. I return each time leaving fresh markers that I hope, in the full glare of my hopelessness, will have blossomed into fresh insight in the interim.
Okay, I have a torch. Do I have legs? No, I do not have legs. What is this? Music's kind of freaky. Creepy painting. Okay. I don't know what that is. I feel like that's some sort of chemistry thing. I don't know why. I don't know chemistry. I've never done chemistry. I'm an archaeology student. I don't know chemistry. Alright. More paint. Game's quite pretty. I'm not sure if you can actually see that in the recording, because unfortunately my recording quality has never been very good due to the fact that I use Twitch. But I am looking into getting a recording thing. Well, I can't remember what it's called now. Like a game card, that's on. And having a better recording. But it's quite pretty in its own way. It kind of reminds me, it's a bit similar to Daisy standalone graphics, which I always thought were a little bit better than Arma 3 mods. I feel like I'm supposed to go at the top there, but this road just keeps going. Path. Driftwood. So this appears to be all I can do. Zoom in. Every single button. Every button zooms in. So that is my options. Zooming or not zooming.
When you were born, your mother told me, a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained.
That's cool. This is a beach, so that's obviously quite fresh. I wonder if I did that. My character. This dude has a great voice, by the way. I really like his voice. And I feel like that staircase over there must have just been where the other path led to.
Crumpled and waterlogged under a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have washed out to sea. God knows there are no longer gulls or goats here to eat it.
Okay. That one was a bit random. Oh, have I reached a dead end? I believe I have. Oh, looks like I was wrong. Interesting. I forgot to start my timer, so I hope hope this first episode isn't too long. Being able to run is a bit of a bummer, not gonna lie. Come on. This game does quite a good job of giving you this kind of sense of isolation. You can see something over there. It looks like some other island or something over there. Yeah, yeah. It does quite a good job of giving you this isolated feeling. Oh, it was a right. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that would have been the path, but then you would have had to have gone down and come up. Okay, fair enough. Righto. It's all seeming rather linear so far.
Reading Donnelly by the weak afternoon sunlight. He landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend. But then, he didn't have my reasons.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming we'll find out what those reasons are at some point, I hope. I hope this isn't too...
Someone died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice. They cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this: to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Interesting, okay. So there's some sort of infection. Looking through the flowers. Yeah, it's
They
like I
were
was...
God-fearing people, those shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years before the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I wonder, did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradictions?
An interesting thought. There's a boat over there.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Okay.
I would leave you presents outside your retreat in this interim space between cliff and beach. I would leave you loaves and fishes, but the fish stocks have been depleted and I've run out of bread. I would row you back to your homeland in a bottomless boat, but I fear we would both be driven mad by the chatter of the sea creatures.
Again with the chemistry. Paint cans. Well, it's a sleeping bag. Alright, so someone's been living here. I feel like this guy. This guy seems like he's got something going on. He's going a bit crazy. Oh, okay, so this is what he's talking about. I wonder if Esther is the island, and he's talking to the island? Sort of odd creature? I don't know. Alrighty, here we go. Oh, it was a seagull. Oh, I thought that was just like some lady screaming. Weird little hole. This walking pace is quite frustrating. That water's very pretty though. That animation for that water's really nice. I'm not sure if you guys can see that on the recording. Nice. Radio tower. Description. I wish we had a body.
He still maintains he wasn't drunk, but tired. I can't make the judgment or the distinction anymore. I was drunk when I landed here, and tired too. I walked up the cliff path in near darkness and camped in the bay where the trawler lies beached. It was only at dawn that I saw the bothy and decided to make my temporary lodgings there. I was expecting just the aerial and a transmitter stashed in a weatherproof box somewhere on the mount. It had an air of uneasy permanence to it. Like all the other buildings here, erosion seems to have evaded it completely.
Right. Chemistry, and is that a Bible? Okay, enough. Anything else around here? Like that's our path. What's over here? Oh, I reckon this will be just above where I ran into that dead end. Off the edge. Yeah. Okay. We walk up there. Feel like we might be able to walk. Oh, no. Maybe not. It was looking fairly steep. Yeah, no. Right. Carry on. Tally-ho. Up the hill we go. You gonna say something else? It's actually a really cool island. I'd love to like accidentally stumble across this. What's that? Weird textures. Looks like ooh, loading. Like we're not going back. Ooh, an achievement as well. Donnelly.
Esther.
Next
I have
chapter.
now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Interesting. Alrighty, well I think we'll cut this episode off here. Purely because it's a new chapter, so we might as well cut this into the 4 chapters that it seems to be in. So I am Sir Prouse. This is Dear Esther. Hope you're enjoying this. I hope this isn't too terrifyingly boring for you. And we will catch you next time for the next episode of Dear Esther.